Peace, family. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in with me today. I hope everyone is well. This is Divinely Guided 303. I definitely appreciate y'all tapping in with me today. Um, I really want to just come and talk about a few things that were on my mind yesterday. I sat down and wrote some things out that I really wanted to touch on today because I really feel like there are a lot of people that need to hear this because it's very important, and I just want to be able to be a guiding light for certain people that might not have anyone else in their lives to help guide them in the right direction, and just to drop a few jewels. You know what I mean? From my own personal experience, I am not a professional counselor or therapist. Okay, I am just sharing my experience and the wisdom that I pulled from my experience, and I just want to share it with other people. If this information is not useful for you, that is cool. You are welcome to click off. You don't even have to watch the video, okay? But for those of you that do need it, I definitely advise for you to stick around and check me out. All right? So, with that out the way, let me get straight into it. So, I will be touching on a few things today. Um, I want to talk about first about holding grudges. Before I talk about that, I do want to make mention of the fact that while you are recreating yourself, it's very important for us to have a proper diet. It always starts there. And I want to shout out the brother Yaki Awakening, okay, for all the beautiful videos and informative videos that he's made, letting his community know, just letting the world know how important it is for us to have a clean diet. You know, I myself, I'm one of those people that kind of struggle. I've struggled with that. I'm not a heavy junk food eater or nothing like that, but at the same time, my diet has not been what it should, you know, and I definitely do understand the importance of having a proper diet, you know, and he made mention of the fact that in order for us to really be able to ascend spiritually, that having the proper diet is number one. And I definitely do agree with that. It is number one, because if your body is not being prepared properly, that definitely interferes with the way we think and the way we operate overall as a whole. Okay? Meditation is very important too, because you definitely need that time to just be in silence, just to allow your mind to be clear, okay, and not think and be stressing and worrying about anything. Allow yourself to tap into you. It's hard meditating sometimes for some people, especially those with busy minds like myself. I'm an overthinker sometimes. I'm a Virgo, okay, and I think all the time, you know, and so meditation definitely does help me to just calm that down, you know, because I deal with anxiety as well. I have anxiety, and a lot of my anxiety, you know, is manageable. Like, it's not out of control for me or nothing like that. But meditation definitely does help. So I definitely would advise um, people that are overthinkers and warriors to definitely make time to just have that moment, to just be still, to just be with you and the Most High. That is definitely important, to be able to build that relationship with yourself and God, okay, or the universe, or whatever you deem as, you know, your higher power, your source of you know, your higher power. So yes. All right, so getting into what I wanted to talk about, the notes that I took, I wanted to talk about holding grudges, okay, because holding grudges is something that I feel like a lot of us struggle with. And when we hold grudges, you know, 9 times out of 10, you got trust issues. You're going to have trust issues. If you holding grudges against people, 9 times out of 10, I know you got trust issues, because a lot of us have had experiences from our childhood, You know, it's been people very, very close to us that have violated us in ways that definitely they shouldn't have, you know, have abused us, have, you know, mentally, verbally abused us, and did things to us that it kind of shaped the way that you look at the rest of the world going forward. And so when things like that happen, if we're not able to properly process the experience and understand that experience, it can kind of snowball out of control within us. And there's an anger that's there, you know, and that anger is is fueled all through your body. You know, it is embedded in your cells in your body, you know, and we hold this energy inside of us, not knowing that the very thing that we don't want, we are creating by embodying this energy and holding this energy, holding this anger. Because we feel like by holding that grudge, by holding this anger, that gives us, you know, it's like, for me, I'm gonna say for me, okay, because this is what it's about for me, speaking my experience and giving you my wisdom. I don't want to speak for everybody else, but what I want to say is, holding grudges for me, what it did was it made me, like I said, looking at the world going forward, you know, it was hard for me to trust people. You know, it was very hard for me to trust people once I had been crossed by those that were very, very close to me. And I felt like as long as I kept that memory alive of what the person had did to me or what the people had done to me, then I would be able to protect myself better. Because I'm going to be able to recognize those red flags, you know, or I'm just not going to deal with you too much. I'm not going to, you know, allow myself to be too open with you, to be too vulnerable with you, to let you get too close to me, you know, because I don't trust you. And it's good not to trust in some instances, you know, because you don't want to be too trustworthy, because you'll be out here looking gullible and people will definitely walk over you and take advantage of you. Definitely will. But what I'm saying is that because I held those grudges, because I had held that anger inside of me, you know, it ultimately it weakens us, you know. It really does weaken us, and we end up recreating the very thing that we don't want to create. We draw those experiences and those type of people into us. You know, we draw in people with victim mentalities because we're holding that victim mentality in energy, you know, feeling like everyone's going to do us wrong. Everyone has done us wrong. And so you still draw those things in. You continue to draw those things in. We tend to, when y'all see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at some of the notes that I wrote down yesterday while I was thinking about this. But like I said, we definitely become afraid to trust others. And you know what it was for me was, I learned that I stopped trusting myself, because, you know, I felt like I was making proper decisions, you know, when I was connecting with certain people and being in certain situations. And because I thought I had made the right choices, you know, when it turned out not to be that, I said, well, damn, you know, I don't even know how to make the proper choices, you know. So I don't know if the people that are around me are really good, because I thought I made the right choice before, but it wasn't. So it really started to make me second guess myself. And because I was second guessing myself so much, it was very hard for me to trust other people around me. I wanted to self-medicate myself. So I picked up a few addictions, you know. Those were my vices to kind of help me cope with the reason of why I was holding this grudge inside of me, the betrayals that happened, you know, the things that happened that I would say is traumatic. You know what I mean? It really shaped me in a way that kept me in this box away from people, you know. And so I binded myself to this energy of, I ain't gonna let nobody get me no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, nah, I'm not. But it was fear. You know, I was holding so much fear inside of me that I would push people away sometimes, out of fear, because I'm constantly remembering what happened to us. Our heart has memory too, you know? So when something happens in our life that triggers us, not only do we remember remember that in our minds, but it's also in our hearts, and those emotions and everything come up. And you know so we don't allow ourselves to just be free and be in the moment with people, because you're so in fear. And that low vibration that we carry, it 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 steals our peace, it steals our happiness, it steals experiences with beautiful people. That's why forgiveness is so important, because sometimes you can't help certain things that may happen to you, and every time, every situation is not a situation where you probably could have did anything to not become a victim in that case. But with the experiences, a lot of times what I've learned is that it was to teach me something. It showed me something about myself, whether if I was being too. I'm burning up in this car, y'all. I had to come in the car because it's a little noisy in my house right now. So I wanted to be able to have some silence. But so anyway, um, where was I at? Spirit, what was I at? Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and go forward. For me, it was very hard for me to forgive. I was on forgiveness. That's right. Forgiveness was very hard for me because I felt like I didn't need to forgive them. I felt like, I'm just going to cut them off. I'm just going to not even deal with them, and I'm just going to hold my grudge in my heart, like, because I'm not dealing with them no more. So I'm holding this grudge because I'm damn sure not about to forgive you because you knew what you was doing when you did it. And that was my mentality. But that did nothing for me. You know, what that did was made me isolate myself. What that did was make me make reckless choices sometimes in the decisions that I made, because I started to I started to feed my addictions, because I was in pain in the inside. I was still hurting that the situations, things, those things that had happened to me. So because I was in pain and I didn't want to express that pain, because you don't want to keep dwelling on the past, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to keep talking about the same situation to people. So you self-medicate. You get your drugs. You get your alcohol. You do your shopping. You eat more. Whatever your addiction is, whatever your thing is, to cope with your hurt and your pain. And I went about it the wrong way. But I felt like that was working for me. I really felt like that was working for me. Excuse me, y'all. I got I got to fan myself, y'all, because it is just burning up in this joint. Burning. But I'm going to get this message out, baby. Um, yeah. Like I said, I did. I really was drinking. Um, I started drinking. I started drinking a lot when I was about 18 years old. Yeah, no. Yeah, about 18, 19 years old, I started drinking because at that time I was in a relationship with a guy that I really ain't had no business being in a relationship with. I really didn't even really like the guy, but because I was in a situation that I needed help with my daughter, I was dealing with this dude. And this dude was abusive. And he also took advantage of me sexually a lot. Okay? I couldn't tell him no, that I didn't want to have sex. Okay? And TMI moment, but he was kind of large. And I'm sorry, I was not with it. I was just not with it. You know what I'm saying? And that made me start drinking because I was afraid to speak up for myself. So I allow him to violate me. I allow him to violate me because he was my man. Because he was my man, you know, I put it in my head that it was okay. Wasn't okay. But I put it in my head that it was okay so that I could cope with the situation. And I began drinking. So I said, you know what? I already knew every day how the situation was going to play out. So therefore, I said, I'm going to make sure I'm drunk. I'm going to make sure I'm drunk. So while I'm laying there crying and he's on top of me, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good because I'm going to be numb. I'm going to be numb. And that's what I did. And that's how I learned how to cope with stress. That's how I learned how to cope with trauma, is through alcohol. Okay? And then, I started smoking weed. And, no, actually, I had already tried weed before, but, yeah. And then I started drinking, and then I started smoking weed again. But, so that's how I learned to kind of cope with stress and stuff. But that was just definitely not the healthy way to go because it really created more issues within myself. It really did. The situation, that experience taught me, how I viewed myself. It showed me how I viewed myself. I wasn't looking at it like that then in my 18, 19-year-old mind. I wasn't thinking about no self-worth. I had never been talked to about self-worth and, loving myself and, none of that. So, and not to say anything bad about my parents because I had good parents. I had a good upbringing. I'm not going to say I had a bad upbringing. I absolutely love my mama. You know, um, my biological father wasn't in the picture to raise me, but I definitely had I had a stepfather that was present. Um, but with that being said, I wasn't taught these things. So I operated in a very low vibration. I operated from my lower self. Okay, and everything was out of fear. I was a people pleaser. So I always wanted to make sure that I was pleasing people, making sure that the people around me were good. They always had to be good. And that came from my childhood growing up, wanting to please my mom all the time, and that just kind of spilled over into everything, my relationships and everything. And that was another thing that, I had to heal and work on because you can get stuck in a trap of giving too much of yourself to people to try to make other people feel good, to try and fill those holes that are within you, that you actually need to just go within and you and the Most High work that out together and heal those things. We pour into people what we need to be really actually pouring into ourselves. you know so with that experience that I had, and some other experiences that I will share with you guys along the way, with different videos. Um, with that experience, I held anger in my heart. I didn't hold anger in my heart, you know, just toward men in general. Like, it wasn't like that. I had hatred in my heart towards him, and I held that grudge, because he definitely knew what he was doing, and he took advantage of the fact that I was young. He wasn't that much older than me, but he was stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't. I was weak at that time. I was really weak at that time. So, and he took advantage of that. So I didn't feel like he deserved my forgiveness. But I had to learn that it wasn't about him. It was about me freeing myself, allowing myself to heal, to accept the situation, and forgive myself for allowing this situation to happen, and then moving forward on releasing those feelings that I still held inside of me, you know, because from that moment forward, all my encounters with men, especially with sex, I never had sex sober, ever. I never had sex sober, you know, never. So it started toxic behaviors. I started toxic behaviors, trying to cope with the emotions and the thoughts and all of that, and not talking to anyone about what I was going through. I suffered in silence a lot, y'all. I suffered in silence a lot. I talked to the Most High a lot. The Most High has been my everything. Do you hear me? For a very long time, Spirit has been with me. Spirit has been with me. I've just become aware of my ancestors as of 3 years ago, because I wasn't even thinking nothing about, trying to get in contact with no ancestors or none of that. But my whole spirit team was always around me, always, trying to guide me. I just wasn't aware of those things at that time. But um and I only mention that about the ancestors and everything because over time I became so isolated and just, you know, to myself, just afraid to pour into people anymore because I was holding the anger and these grudges and the fear, and I had so many trust issues. I still got trust issues. I'm not even going to front. I still got trust issues because I feel like I'm such a pure heart, and because I'm a pure heart doesn't mean that I don't do things that, are wrong. Like, I done did some shit now. Don't get me wrong. I done did some stuff, but I never have ill intentions for people just to, oh, I'm going to get this person. Oh, I want to see this person. I've never been like that. I ain't never been no hater. I done been jealous before now. I ain't going to front. I have felt jealous. I have been jealous of people before, but it ain't nothing that, I feel like we all, it's a human thing sometimes to experience those feelings. But I ain't. That's not me. You know. It was just the situations that I was in, and my mind state, and how I was feeling about myself, and you know a lot of different things played into how that was popping off, because I ain't no hater. I want to see us all eat, because it's enough out here for everybody to win, for everybody to be happy. I always wanted to see people happy around me. If I eat, you gonna eat. If anything, you probably eat better than me. That was the mentality I was on then. You know what I'm saying? You gonna eat better than me because I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna make sure you good. And that's how I carried a lot of my relationships. I took care of the men. Or at least, I did what I could to take care of them. They didn't do all that for me. But I was happy with that because I felt like I needed that validation that I was a good woman. I was being the good girl, the good house girl that they wanted me to be. But um in 2018 in 2018 is when I decided that I didn't want to hold this stuff no more. I didn't want to hold it. The energy within me felt yucky. It just felt nasty. I don't even like to feel anger. I don't like to feel it. I don't like to feel sadness. I don't like to feel none of those feelings because it just feels nasty to me. It do. So I would stay away from. I would do whatever I could to try to distract myself from thinking like that and being like that. But then sometimes I wanted to stay in that energy. You know what I'm saying? And I would listen to stuff that would feed that energy. For real. Side note, definitely got to be careful in who you are around and the music that you listen to when you are in that vibration of anger. Okay? When you mad, when somebody then did you wrong, do not feed that anger. Do not fuel that fire. Okay? It is so dangerous. It is so dangerous to do that when you in anger, because you can do some things that you just can't come back from when you in that emotional state. It's very important for us to learn how to first understand the emotions that we feeling and be able to navigate through these emotions with proper discernment and with wisdom. I'm serious, because I done flew off the handle a few times, and then I sit back and I'm like, girl, you ain't even have to do all that. You ain't even have to do all that, girl. It won't even that serious, you know. But it comes to a point when you hold so much stuff in for so long, any little thing can trigger you, and you can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Real quick. And I'm real sweet, y'all. I'm real sweet. I'm real nice. I'm real bubbly. But baby, I could take it there. Baby, I could take it there. I'm telling you. I know I can transform to Lucifer in the flesh. Okay? Straight up. And gives no shits. You know? And that scared me. That scared me. So I tried to stay away from getting angry. I didn't even want people. I really tried to stay away from that because I didn't know what I would do once I got to that point that I'm shaking. Because now I'm ready to burn some shit down. You hear me? I'm ready to take off with your heads around this motherfucker. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like real rap. And I'm not even that. That's not me. I don't feel like. Maybe it is. But anyway, I've learned how to manage that, you know, and control that in the best way possible. I learned how to feel when it's building and remove myself, you know, talk myself through the process, get myself to calm down and not to amp myself up. I learned to use wisdom in situations, you know, and not just reacting off of everything. Another thing I wanted to speak about was being responsible for protecting you, being responsible for setting boundaries for yourself. You cannot give the responsibility to anyone else to make sure that they protect your heart like you're going to protect your heart. Don't make that mistake. Do not give people that permission to have that much power over you. That's a hard lesson that I've learned many times, you know. And then we'll speak that mess. I gave my heart to you. No, no, no. Don't give your heart. If anything, you're going to be adding to somebody. They're going to be adding to you. See, I learned that. I learned that later on down the line. That you already need to be whole within yourself before you even try to come and be with anybody else. Like, honestly. Because it's so easy to to um to basically walk in someone else's shadow. It's so easy to do that when you are not balanced within yourself, when you are not strong within yourself. It's so easy, especially if you're a people pleaser. You know, you can start to become them. You, whoever your partner is, you pick up their ways, the way they talk. Come on now, we all know we done did it. You done been around somebody, they talk in a certain way. You learn, you start talking the same way. You know, they pick up your habits and all that stuff. So it's very important to be mindful of the company that you keep. Definitely. Okay, like they say, you are what you eat, baby. Them peoples that's around you too, you become them too. So that's definitely important. But back to what I was saying, it is our responsibility to make sure that we set boundaries for people, that we teach people to respect us, that we teach people that how to treat us, you know, and you set the tone for that. You set the example by loving yourself first. If people see that you really don't have too much respect for yourself and you really don't love yourself, what you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do 9 times out of 10? They're going to run circles around you, okay? And drag you across the flow and all kinds of stuff. Not literally, or some of them will. But they'll drag you. They'll treat you how they want to treat you. Because you don't care about yourself. So why the hell they going to care about you if you don't even show yourself respect? I had to learn that. Dudes did not do me right. Dudes did not do me right. You hear me? And they were young. You know, we all was young. But at the same time, I learned some harsh lessons. Being naive and gullible and listening to everything my man told me and the people around me, and just trusting, feeling like everybody was like me. Feeling like everybody thought like me, everybody's heart was like mine, and they cared like me and all of that. And they didn't. They walked all over me. I allowed them to walk all over me, and did it with a smile on my face. Do you hear me? Did it with a smile on my face. It never stopped me from loving people. It never stopped me from pouring into people. But it started to harden my heart a little bit more. It did cause me to have deeper trust issues, you know, and I started to have resentment towards them because I couldn't understand why. I just couldn't understand why. Why do you do good people bad? Like, I just didn't get it. You want somebody good on your team, but then you get them and you don't know what to do with them. But that's because a lot of us are not being taught properly at home first about respecting ourselves and loving ourselves. Because if these people were loving themselves right, they would definitely have loved me a little bit better too. It always starts with self, y'all. Always starts with self. It's going to come right back around to self. You cannot expect somebody to love you as much as you would love yourself. The same way that you want to protect your babies, you know, that you will turn into a whole beast out here in these streets for your babies. Do that for your heart. Protect your heart. Guard your portals, your eyes, your ears, your mind, everything. Any way that people can influence you in any type of way. You got to protect your peace. Protect your kingdom. You protect your kingdom. Don't allow people just to come in and violate your house like that. Don't do it. That's why self-love is important. You cannot properly love anybody else if you have not properly loved yourself first. And I'm not talking about because you go and buy yourself an outfit every week and your hair done and your nails done, because, baby, that spirit look nasty inside. Okay? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Come again. That's Lauryn Hill, baby. She she dropped jewels in that joint when she said that. You can't win when you ain't right within. I don't care what you got on the outside. I don't care how much material stuff you have. It's a lot of people miserable as all hell, but they look like they got it going on out this joint. They poor in their spirit, poor in their mindsets, but they look wealthy on the outside. But if you could really see, you would see how poor they are. You will really see how poor they are. I was looking at people wrong, you know, thinking because people got a lot of stuff, they're wealthy. That's not wealth to me anymore. It's not wealth to me anymore. I have a different perspective on that. Because I done met some wicked, evil, cold-hearted people that got the world. Got nice houses, nice cars, nice clothes. Family look picture perfect, but they cold as a mug in the inside. Heart like stone. Evil. You know? Whew. I really hope that whoever is watching this, whoever crosses paths with this video, that you really take heed to some of the things that I'm saying. The video might seem like it's, you know, all over the place and whatnot, but pick up what you can from the video. Don't sit here on no little kitty stuff, you know, trying to examine every little thing that don't matter, you know, and all that. Come on. It's time for us to grow up. It's time for us to mature. It's people out here, you know, really on some petty, immature stuff. Like, ew. I'm not a surface person. I'm a very deep person. So when you come to me and you talking about surface shit, you talking about some, oh, her hair don't look right, oh, her nails, oh, just, girl, get out my face. Because you a child of me. That's how I look. That's how I'm going to look at you. With the ill face. Because that's what it is. Because it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that for me. It's bigger than that. I'm past the pettiness. I'm past that pettiness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at that stuff. I'm not thinking about the small stuff. I want people to grab the knowledge that they can grab. Okay? Through my experiences, so you don't have to go through those same things. Don't put yourself through that same turmoil. Going through those same toxic cycles over and over and over, thinking you punishing somebody else by harboring this anger. No, you punishing yourself. You bind yourself in a prison every time you hold that inside of you. Release that. If you don't know how to release that, sit with the Most High and figure it out. Go to somebody you trust to talk to. Someone that can give you wise counsel, that can help you through that process of releasing that. Because if you truly, truly want to heal, if you truly want to release it, trust me, the Most High is going to help you. I'm a living witness. Trust me, the Most High will. You ain't got to trust me. Matter of fact, go and do it. Go and do it yourself. You're going to feel so much better when you release these things. That don't mean you got to go back around to people that then hurt you. That don't mean that. You ain't got to have no dealings with them. But you got to do this process for you. This is about you. It's not about nobody else. This is about you. You freeing yourself and elevating. Don't allow nobody to keep you trapped and stuck in them toxic mindsets and ways. You just going to keep creating the same world over and over and over and over and over and over. And then that's when you start to think, oh, the whole world is bad. No, you just stuck in that cycle and you don't see that you stuck in a cycle, baby. You stuck in a cycle because you won't let this stuff go. You won't allow yourself to accept, release, and heal and release this stuff. You want to hold on to it like you punishing somebody. You ain't doing nothing but punishing yourself. You casted yourself to hell. You create your own hell. That's what you're doing. Free yourself from that. Free yourself from that. You deserve that. You deserve happiness. You deserve love. You are worthy. Speak this stuff to yourself. When thoughts start to come in your mind that don't feel good to you, speak something different. Speak power over you. Speak life into your situation. And get around some folk that's going to speak life to you too. Don't be around low vibrations all day, every day. They will suck you dry and keep you stuck. Keep you sitting right there looking sappy. You got things to do. We all got a purpose. We all got a mission. However you do that, that's on you. My mission is to spread love, spread my wisdom, to other people. It's one of the things that I'm here to do. I definitely know that. I gotta share my experiences. We all students and teachers out here, I ain't a certified teacher on paper, but baby, I'm a certified teacher by life and experience. Okay? My mother of 6 children. I have experienced some things. Okay? I'm 38 years old. I'm still young, but I have definitely experienced some things and seen some things that I can give someone else some advice. Whether you take it or not is up to you. I'm not begging you to take it. I ain't asking you to take it. I'm just doing what the Most High pushes me to do. So that's what I'm doing. I'm contributing in this way to spread positivity, to help people to come from about those toxic behaviors and that toxic mindset. We gods and goddesses out here. And it's time for us to start acting like it. All right? And it's a process. I haven't arrived yet. I'm still a work in process. Okay? But as I learn, I want to teach. I want to share. And that's what I'm going to do. All right? So I hope that this video was helpful for somebody. Even if it just helps one person, my soul is pleased. All right, y'all. So tune in again. I will be back. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a card reading or what. I don't know what's going to be going on. All I know is I will be back to come and show some love to you. You hear me? All right. Peace, y'all. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Get hydrated. Get somewhere cool if it's burning up so you don't be looking like me. Okay. Love y'all.